I'm playing a Kroq-Gar Immortal Empires campaign, and you can't stop me. And I'm playing it on Legendary. And I'm also playing Ultimate Crisis because I want some pretty good difficulty. Because I don't know, I want to stretch my Lizardman muscles. Seeing those new Lizardman minis has me like super excited. I want to return to my roots. Any Total War news? Not really. I mean, there's been little snippets of like, you know, them releasing stuff regarding like player stats and stuff from last year. But I haven't heard anything like super interesting going into next year. By the way, hello and welcome to the stream to Fargoth Neverveen, Calcifer 303, Uzul Skulltaker, Yantropy, Canuckle 87, Longlegs 1997, Pierce 1599, Razor Dragontail, Pod Pig, Papa Chaos 4296, Squats Infinite, Hawk Oddly, Laminated Guy 57, Mr. Pig 1627, Kitten Mittens 19, Living Legend, Barbaric, Chunky Nurgling, Obicus, Ratwood 19, Comrade Question, and Fagoth. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're all having a lovely night. Or afternoon or evening, wherever you may be in the world. Yeah, I am not anticipating any Total War news probably until late January, early February. But how are you, chat? How was y'all's Christmas? Did y'all have an okay Christmas? Got the girlfriend a Carnosaur for Christmas because she wants to paint a T-Rex too? Nice. She got a Sunblood for the collection as well. I actually really like the Sunblood model. I know it's just Gorok, but the Gorok model and the Chalkox model make me feel funny in like good ways. Like they're such good minis. Reminds me, I need to hit up Doru and see how he's coming along on that Gorok mini. Yeah, AOS. God, I'm getting so excited for AOS next year. I really haven't had much time or energy to do AOS for like the last 2 years, really. But I would really like to get back into it coming up. I think for this one, we're safe to auto-resolve. Though I will take substantially less damage if I fight it, so we'll fight it. You got a dragon mini? Oh, wow, that's a big dragon. Sounds awesome. Do you have to paint it, or is it already, like, done? Uzul. Do any of the dwarves in Age of Sigmar remember Felix? Not that are alive, except for Gotrek. But Gotrek has discovered at least some information about the dwarf, the underworld that the dwarfs went to. Because in Realm Slayer, he talks to Snorri. Like, he finds Snorri in the realm of Shaiish. Snorri, what the? Oh my god, I can't remember his name. Snorri. Oh god, Snorri. What the hell is his last name? Something knows, right? I am having such a brain fart right now. But Gotrek finds him, and the two of them talk for a while. So like the dwarf dead still remember him in their underworld. Nosebiter, thank you. I was like, I know it has a nose in it. But yes, so the dwarven dead still remember them, but none of the other dwarfs do. Or the Dwarden, I should say, except for Gotrek. Gotrek is still alive? Hell yeah, he's still alive. Gotrek is basically a god now. Also, I finally finished Soul Slayer. I don't know if I've been on stream since I finished it. I did finish Soul Slayer. I actually really enjoyed it. A lot of people who have showed up in chat were like, oh, it's not that good, it's not worth reading or whatever. I thought it was great. It definitely had a much more somber ending than I was expecting. But I had a really good time. Does he still have the Slayer Oath in AOS? No. I don't know how in detail you want me to go, because I don't want to like spoil like his AOS series necessarily, but he does not still go for his Slayer Oath is the answer to that question. I don't want to get any more specific than that because I don't want to like it's a pretty important aspect of his trilogy, or actually it's more like a quintilogy at this point, because it's like 5 books, not 3 books. But I would heavily I'll leave it at that. I would highly recommend his AOS series if you would like to know more. What is the dwarf's afterlife like? Well, I don't know what a dwarf's afterlife is like, because that would fall under Tolkien or another fantasy universe, but dwarf's afterlife, just to sass you a little bit. We don't know a ton about it because it's kept very secretive, but it's supposed to be the Hall of the Ancestors, and that seems to be true. It's the Hall of the Ancestors of the dwarfs of Warhammer Fantasy, and it's ruled over by Gazul, the Dwarven Lord of the Dead, or at least he does seem to rule over it. But we know that it is extremely well protected, and it's hidden away. It's either fully hidden away, or it's disguised, or there's a gate protecting it. It's not 100% clear which of those is the case. But the big thing is that the big thing is that Nagash can't get into it. There seems to be some kind of gate that is keeping Nagash out, like literally preventing him from gaining access to the world, the Dwarven Realm of the Dead. And since he cannot get in, he cannot conquer it, which is a really, 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 really important story beat. Is that the Dwarven Dead are one of the only dead that Nagash cannot get to. Are there any AOS omnibuses with the Lore Master's approval? Yeah, the Gotrek series. I don't think they've released it in omnibus yet, but Darius Hinks has wrapped up his trilogy, which is Ghoul Slayer, Git Slayer, and then Soul Slayer. But it is a trilogy, and it's really good. I would highly recommend it. Though I would also recommend reading the audio dramas first. Well, actually, I would probably listen to Realm Slayer, which is an audio drama, though I think you can actually get it in book form now. I would do Realm Slayer, then I would do Ghoul Slayer, then I would do Blood of the Old World, and then I would do from there I would recommend doing Git Slayer and then Soul Slayer, in that order. But they'll also be significantly better if you read them after you've done the Gotrek and Felix series from Fantasy. But anyway, yeah, so the Dwarven Afterlife is it's the Hall of the Ancestors. Basically, it's basically Valhalla from Norse myth, where it's but without like the fighting aspect. But it's a place that you go, and it's a grand ornate hall that you enter, and you find all of your kin and all those dwarves that were considered honorable enough to arrive in that place, and they you will be welcomed, and then you get to spend the afterlife for as long as that may last, enjoying being with those you loved in life, and drinking and enjoying memories, and it's pretty nice. It honestly sounds pretty nice. I'm gonna be honest. I'm here, ratties. Holy Artist and Dontershi, good to see you guys. Welcome to the stream. How you doing? What do I think of Vlad's death in the end times? I think it's one of the few deaths that was actually good. Well, I don't know about it was one of the better deaths. It was a very appropriate way for him to die. It was appropriately tragic while also having like a sense of irony to it. So like, how do I say this? His death felt like somebody looked at the character and thought, what would be an appropriate way to write out this character that would fit him from a narrative perspective, and also has a lot of build up, and they nailed it, which is good. Like, that's a good death. I prefer that death immensely more to, the characters that either didn't get any screen time, or their death was like a gotcha or something else goofy like that. I thought his death was good. You can't sleep anymore at 5:45 a.m. Well, at least that's not awful. Like, obviously that's not ideal. I'm sure you'd rather still be asleep, but that's close to 6, which 6 is like fairly get up time. Yeah, Lewin's death was great. Belagar's death was good. Queek's death was good. What is Crone Hellebrand's disposition towards Khorne? She does not like Khorne. I would go so far as to say she despises Khorne, because she understands that Khorne is the Cainites see Khorne as basically a vastly lesser and messier rival of Cain. So for the Dark Elves, the thing about Cain is all about the expression of murder. So it's much more about finesse and skill and showing off your abilities, and practicing until you have achieved perfection in the art of murder. And there's different kinds of murder. Like there are different ways to achieve murder, and many of the different like subsects of the Cainite cult focus on killing in a particular way. So like there's a cult of Cainites in the Empire, for instance. So there's a group of there are human worshippers of Cain, and there's one cult in the Empire that their kind of whole big thing. Oh, thank you. Their kind of whole big thing is that they want to achieve the most artistic death with as many people witnessing it as possible. So like for them, just killing someone is not good enough. It's a performance. There's this whole, it's about making the most extravagant, over-the-top death as possible. Obviously, you have the Hargoneth Executioners, and the Hargoneth Executioners are all about perfecting decapitation. So their whole thing is that they want to land a flawless killing blow. So a single strike of their weapon that is a perfectly clean cut, all about, you know, removing the target's head, and it has to be perfect. And they practice and practice and practice. You know, for the Daughters of Cain, it's more of a like almost it's like an orgasmic performance. It's like reveling in and indulging in the thrill of killing someone by really like putting everything you have into it, and like just absolutely melting yourself into the violence, and like feeling that every motion, that every little sweet feeling, or whatever you want to call it, that you can experience while killing someone. That's the whole purpose. That's what it's all about. It's about feeling someone's hot blood and viscera against your skin, your exposed flesh as you turn around. It's about effortlessly dodging in and around combat and picking them apart bit by bit. So Cainites have a very different relationship with violence than Khorne does. Khorne does not care. Like, that's the ultimate expression of Khorne. Khorne is about hatred and violence and bloodshed, but it's not necessarily supposed to be clean. In fact, a lot of the time they look down on like the perfectionism and cleanliness of Slaanesh, right? For Khorne, bloodshed and violence is its own reward, and it's more about shedding as much blood as you can, and as much death and destruction as you can, and giving into the rage, giving into the hatred. Obviously there are exceptions, like there are Khornate cults that express to worship him a different way, and ultimately Khorne does not care where the blood, from whence the blood flows, so long as it flows. You know, that classic Khornate phrase. But at the end of the day, that is the major difference between the two of them, is that Khorne does not care. Khorne wants blood to flow for blood's own sake, everything else be damned. And he does not care how you do it, why you do it, or anything like that, so long as it is done. If you get to know Khorne, then the truth of the matter is that the more bloody, the more horrible, the more destructive and chaotic and whatever you want to call it that it is, the more he likes it. Whereas if you're dealing with Cain, but at the same time, at the end of the day, he doesn't really care. If you deal with Cain, Cain cares a lot. Cain cares all about the expression of violence. Cain cares far more for how you do it, more than like how often you do it. Like one of the tenets of the Cainite human cults, or one of the tenets of Cainite cults in general, is that if you are going to kill in Cain's name, you have to leave behind a signifier showing that it was for Cain that sacrifice was made. It was for Cain that person died. It has to be unquestionable that murder was made in Cain's name. That is a core tenet of his religion. Like if you kill someone and you don't make it like insanely obvious that the kill was made for Cain, then you have committed basically sacrilege, because it has to be obvious. You have to be able to look at the kill and say, ah, yes, this kill was marked for Cain. Otherwise, it doesn't count. So for Cain, it's much more about like almost the drama and the performance of the kill. I want to be careful around the enemy general. Yeah, Cain would absolutely hate AI murder. Yeah. Cain would be like, I'm gonna need to see make sure you source your murders, people. Source your murders. It's the ethical thing to do. He would be very big on that. All right, we're gonna clear out all this garbage. Let the skink priest chase them off. Kroq-Gar's going nuts over here. You fighting, big guy? You're doing great. Oh, we got more skinks. Nice. To me! To me! I'm out of range. Do I really need to make sure this guy doesn't come back? Oh, nice. The enemy general is broken. Nice. Source cut him up. Something good. Okay, get rid of the Eshin boys. Yeah, we're gonna chase off all these units. Oh, they shattered. Nice. Actually, you go that way. Take it on. You help the skinks with the clan rats. Okay, we got the crown of command, so I can use it on these guys. Tell them to fight to the death. We're gonna send the skinks around the back. Okay, you come back. They're far enough away. I'm not worried about it anymore. Raptors! Yeah! They fought to the bitter end like the heroes they are. Charge! Okay, they're broken. Stick it on, chase them off. Skinks, get rid of those spears. Come on, priest boy. Oh yeah, no, we are 100% getting a Lizardman range refresh. Oh, Aztec's here. Aztec, thanks so much for the 10 months. Also, Aztec, thanks for the really high quality images. Some of the people I was looking at Twitter like missed a number of things, so appreciate you sending those nice images in. I did show those on stream just a minute ago, though I blocked all your info. But yeah, no, we are 100% getting a Lizardman range refresh, and I'm so fucking excited. All right, so that was that lore fact. Sotek, do I think the Eastern Dwarves who died before the coming of Chaos Dwarves, are they in the Hall of Ancestors? Yes, 100%, absolutely. Well, more than likely, I would say. There certainly is potential that, like, their descendants may have caused them enough, like, their descendants falling to Chaos may shame them enough that they are no longer permitted within the Hall of the Ancestors. But I imagine that particular law in Dwarven culture is not actually as strict as the dwarves believe it is, if that makes sense. I love killing Skaven. But personally, I do believe that the ancestors to the Chaos Dwarfs, I do believe they were welcomed within the Hall of the Ancestors. I do believe that as much as it seems not within the normal rules of Dwarven society, they are given. I'm sure it causes them no amount of, like, beard tugging, but I do think they were welcomed within the realm of the ancestors. Pierce, thanks so much for gifting us up to Fargoth Neverveen. Thank you. That's so sweet of you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate you supporting your fellow community members, dude. That's awesome. Thank you very, very much. Also, Trim Ventura's, Big Aggie 72, and Bishop Cheddar, welcome to the stream. Hope you're all doing well. Good to see you. Mercy and compassion from the lizardmen. Allow me to introduce you to cold-blooded, son. The city is ours! Teotihuacan belongs to the lizards.
Cursed Sotek spawn.
Kaiji Cantu, thanks so much for the 8 months. Thank you. Hope you're having a great day. I really appreciate the support. Thank you so much. I need growth, but I also want more troops. Let's do the alignment of war for right now. And I can do the Rite of Ferocity next turn, I guess. And then we'll get all sorts of spicy high-level troops. I'm a little worried about this army. It is considerably larger than mine. But I do get a lot of skinks if he attacks me, to be fair. Alright, come and get it, rat! Hey, Pierce, I appreciate that, dude. Thank you for the nice message. $250 battle captives for blessed chameleon skinks. You bet your ass. I'm so excited for new lizardmen, dude. Like this, I feel like this is finally gonna break my almost pure dedication to the Night Haunt. But I'm fine with having 2 armies. That's okay. It just means I get variety. You know, variety is the spice of life, as they say. Because I'm already on my way for that. Because I picked up this earlier this month. I picked up this, which has the new chameleon skinks in it. It's got all the new chameleon skinks and the new pterodactyl guys. So, like, I'm super fucking excited to get this taken care of. Because it's got, how many skinks does it have? It's got like two kinds of chameleon skinks too. It's got the melee combat chameleon skinks and then the shooty chameleon skinks. So this has, yeah, this has 13. So it's 10 chameleon skinks and three birds, 3 terra wings. I need to sell the Zinch half of it, or like find someone else that got the box, and trade them like their lizardmen ones for my Zinch ones. What's your lord power again? Plus experience for Saurus warriors and Colwyn riders. Okay. Bark. Bork. You can't see. Sorry. What are you barking at, Sadie girl? More Saurus. More Saurus. Does the AOS Lizardman have the same roster army as the Fantasy Lizardman? Yes, they have almost the exact same roster. Except for most of their special characters got turned into generic characters, so they technically have a bigger roster. Also, they've gained like they've gained some new toys. Rune, good to see you. Welcome to the stream. Attack rather than defend. Tablet of spawning. Okay, now we will switch to... We're gonna move here. And we're gonna say, come get us, bitch. What's with the cam in the corner? Oh, it's the dog cam. I'll turn it off. Agreement with the elves? Sure. You are technically in fulfillment of the Great Plan. Though you are on my continent. I don't know if I'm cool with that, Techless. I will accept you for now. Kind of wish they gave the Slann a lore of the old ones in AOS. They do have their own lore of magic. The Slann have a unique lore of magic in Age of Sigmar, and it is obscene. Like, Slann magic is really good in AOS. The Slann, in my opinion, the Slann are way stronger in AOS than they were in Fantasy. Except for, like, 7th edition, when the Lizardmen were, like, so hysterically overpowered that it was not even funny. Like, because the demons came out so broken, it really feels like the, it really feels like the creators behind the Lizardmen kind of were like, well, like, the demons are super overpowered and broken, and they've completely broke the balance of the game. So what if, hear me out, what if we completely broke the game in the opposite direction by making the Lizardmen super busted? That'll fix it. That was basically 7th edition, which was really silly. Yeah, I'm gonna add them to my Seraphon army, I guess. Well, okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna build them all on square bases. But I'm gonna get circle bases that the square bases slot into. So they're technically gonna be added to my fantasy army of Lizardmen, but they will also be available for AOS. I actually really like Urian Thunderbolt. Come and get me, rat boy. That leaves you with 2 breaks and a useless limb. Dude, yeah. 7th edition was an excellent demonstration of why trying to fix power creep by adding more power creep is... Whoops, he went behind me. Well, don't I feel like the dum-dum in this scenario? Quick! After him! Oh my god, that's so many rats. did this a little early. That's fine. Activate our defenses.